Friday, November 15th. Market analysis, Stan Ehrlich. Good morning. 10:11 California time. And what a down day. Well, not a surprise. Been talking about something like this for a week or more. And we were overbought. Now, all this quickly, we're already down to 41 on this particular chart, E-mini, daily data. And we have not held, and I didn't think it was going to, our first little level of support. Previous highs made back in October. So I think we're still going to come down, as I said before. My most likely downside objective, 57 and a quarter on the E-mini, and it may take a week or two, which would mean November may not be an up month, which usually it is, but December could make up for it. I'm going to talk about the Santa Claus rally at the end of the show a little bit and detail it much more so in the weeks to come before Christmas, of course. And unfortunately, there's no turkey rally, or is there? But Santa Claus rally will be discussed in great detail, like I did with the October lows. They didn't work, but it's got an extremely good history. And maybe next year we'll see a profound October low like we have so many times again. Now, almost low and last. I think there's more downside potential. And as I said, I'm thinking we're going to go down to 57 and a quarter. On the short-term chart, 5-minute chart, we're still dropping like a rock here. It's not disastrous by any means, but it's a pretty significant down day when you're looking at 887 lower, or SPY points, that'd be 8.5 or so lower on the day. That's pretty big. And we'll get to that in just a second. So the next area of support is a little bit lower. Now, Spider, we actually are closing a little bit of that big gap on 11.11, 11.6, sorry, on 11.6, day after the election, got overbought and has obviously turned around. And this could be called, although there's no such animal, a 6-day island top. It gapped up and it gapped down right across the same values. Usually an island top on daily data charts are only 1 day of gap up, gap down. So sometimes 2. 6, don't think I've ever seen one until today. Usually they're very bearish very quickly, which is exactly what's happening right now. But I don't know, there's no precedence for this for 6 days of island. So I don't know how much more or less bearish. You can make your assumptions, and they're probably going to be pretty negative. But all I'm looking for is a close of this big gap here at 576-ish. But that's not really great support. 565 is where I'm thinking the SPY is going to get down to. Maybe 570. That's good support. And it's going to take a little time, a week or two. Next, Spider, 5-minute chart, dropping like a rock, gapped down this morning, gapped up across the same price levels a week and a half ago. Now we're looking to close this huge gap. Yep. In the first support area right now. And come on, we're down on the day 8.5. Yeah, that's great. I mean, if you're bearish, that's what you wanted, and I have been, and I got what I want. So it's time for a little bit of a bounce here, probably. Ooh, 3, 4, 5 points, somewhere in that ballpark, maybe even a little bit less. Bear moves, not necessarily a bear market. I'm not bearish, really. I'm just reactionary in a long-term bull trend. Long-term bull trends have down moves that last several days, even weeks, and then continue long-term. Okay, let's go look at the QQQ. We got a signal to sell short on the top of the market, which ER1 did for a scalp trade, and for an overnight trade. The overnight trade, we are still short. Wow, this is turning out to be a whopper of a trade. ER3, we got short the next day on a rally. Not particularly gracefully, not super close to the high of the rally on that day, 11, 12, 24. But it's working. Now, I did manipulate my trailing stops this morning before the show, and I tightened them up so you can see that they're dropping a lot more quickly than, for example, yesterday. But that's okay. You can do that if you want. When you develop a trading system, you have to have an average, standard, default parameter that works really well most of the time, which I have. But these situations that don't happen very often, I am allowing people to change the kicker, which is the speed at which the stop moves, so that it drops faster and quicker. And under the circumstances like we've got today, that's exactly what I would recommend. And I did. And now we have stops that protect very, very nice profits on this intermediate to longer term trade. The scalps made very good money on ER3 on November 12th. And I can't tell for sure. I think it made a little bit of profit also on the ER1 scalp on the 11th. Let's take a look. One overnight. Let's spread this out. Got short, not at a really nice spot for a little while. Rallied, came down, came back up, and we got stopped out of our one scalp right there. Very small profit. Nothing to write home about. The ER1 position trade, we are still in, and oh my God, it's huge. And it's only been 4 or 5 days, mostly because of today in particular. ER3, which was able to get short the next day, pretty much on the opening, within the first 60 seconds, I believe, or 2 minutes, at a reasonably good price, close to the high of the day, and we are still short that one also. Great. And it was able to sell it high at a higher price, sell short at a higher price than the previous day's ER1 position trade. So we have a small profit on the ER1 scalp. We have a better profit on the ER3 scalp. And we have great profits on ER1 and ER3 overnight positions. Next chart. NASDAQ futures, and we also got a sell signal on the top of the NASDAQ market. I am so tickled pink about this because guess what? If it didn't occur to you, we have on the two highs back July 11th, sell signal on the top of the market to the day. Huge move down. Great. Will this one do the same thing? I think there's a chance that it could do something similar. I'm not looking for a move as big down as we had in July and August. I'm looking for a move down probably to the ballpark of 2,000 or a little under. And that's not really all that far away. So if we get there and it doesn't hold and I don't get any buy signals, then I got to think about what levels at lower levels we're going to get down to. Next chart is the detail, 5-minute NASDAQ. And look at this ER3 position trade come down like crazy. And we're low and last almost. Our trailing stop moves every time it needs to, wants to, and that could be, well, theoretically, 100 times a day or more, every minute, theoretically, because it recalcs every minute. We will be recalcing every tick very soon, but this is very adequate to say the least. So I got no complaints here. This is just great. Now we're coming down awful fast, awful quick, and so I think we're probably close to some kind of a minor short-term low and a bounce for a day or two or several hours plus, but nothing big, nothing lasting a week or two. Next, YM, Dow coming down, hitting the first little support area, and it is bouncing slightly, but really not much. And if it stays here, it might have a little bit more of a bounce, but I'm thinking it's not going to do it. Today's Friday. Markets are going down a lot. A lot of people are now in trouble that bought the market because of the election. And that's kind of what I thought was going to happen. So they may be inclined to sell out of long positions before the bell rings today, before the weekend. We'll see. That's just kind of a normal thing for markets to do. And when it's going up, they sell out of long positions in the same circumstances, but reversed. Okay, what will the 5-minute chart look like? Not bad. Next, we've got Russell. As you would expect, it's leading the way down, and it's coming down into a support area. I've got little reasons to expect a little rally for a little bit of time frame in all of these indexes. But the bigger picture is that the break has started, past tense. And that means we probably have in the next several days, a week or two, more downside likelihood. Now we're looking at the Russell 5-minute. Yep, just broke all the support levels, starting to slide some more. Okay, bonds. Now you guys know that I'm trying to justify, and it's not really cooperating too well, a bottom here around this time period, around this price level, because I think we are in the process of building the last shoulder low on a very large 2-year double shoulder, head and shoulder bottom. Now, these are not all that rare, but I'd say maybe 10, 20% of head and shoulders. And normally head and shoulders are a month or 2 or 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. A year is not very rare, but the longer you get past a year, the more rare they are for some obvious reasons, the time frame, but they just don't tend to occur very often, especially a double shoulder. So we're at a support line. We are or were oversold a few days ago, and we could have a turn here, and I'm expecting that, and I'm not getting it yet. We're still fiddling around approximately unchanged, down a few ticks. I want some kind of a profound rally, and I'd love to see a green buy signal like we got on October 23rd at the bottom of the market. The low day is my automated trading system ER buy signal. That's how incredible they can be. That one did very, very well. So I'm not always getting the buy signals at the top and bottom, but often enough. Let's see what happens here. But I'm looking for a turn up. It's not developing yet. I really am not too happy yet. 10-year notes. Not doing anything terribly wrong, but it's not going up much yet. And I don't care about 2 or 3 ticks. I need to get above the highs of the last week or so. That would be much better. I am currently still short. I got to point that out from September 18th. And it's a whopper of a trade. So I'm going to get stopped out of my short, which has a stop right now at around 110.25 or so. But maybe it'll come down. If I'm wrong, I'm still short and it's going to go down more. I'll make more money. Remember, I am talking about my opinion here, and then at the same time showing you what my strategy that has no opinion, it's mechanical, is doing. But of course, I built the strategy, so it is a reflection of my learnings for 53 years. Next chart. Crude. Like I said, it could be bottoming out around here, a little bit lower in support, and we're not oversold yet, so new low close, almost a new low for this little dip down, slightly bearish at the moment. If we don't hold 63.40, that's a totally different story. But I'm expecting this move down to hold before that, above that level, and so have some sort of rally. And we're looking at heating oil, and I've got approximately the same opinion there also. Now, natural gas, dropping off pretty good, but it's now higher on the day. Not oversold, so I'm not going to get a reversal. But looky here. Doesn't this, come on, people, take a close look. What do you think this might be? Might. It's too early to tell for sure. And I got a buy signal on the bottom Perfect. And now we have another low almost exactly at the same levels of this low on October 21st. Let's just do this. I'm going to measure from 21st to the lowest low, the number of days, minutes, hours, whatever the time frame. And then from that point to the right, and oh my, we're only early by 1 day. This is great timing. It would have been more perfect if today was the day, but tomorrow is supposed to be it, and that can't, well, Monday. And that could happen if it comes down to around today's lows, a little lower, a little higher, and then starts to go up substantially. Then we have, guess what? A head and shoulder bottom. My favorite formation, shoulder, head, and shoulder. Today is the first day that I'm talking about this in natural gas because we didn't have the timing right and we didn't have the dip down around where it should be. If capital I, capital F, this turns out to be the last shoulder low. If that's true, then what's our upside objective? From the bottom of the market on the same vertical plane to where the neckline is, you grab a little distance marker, and let's pretend it's going to break out of several days from now. I've got an upside objective of around 3.5. That's interesting. Wow, that's right back up to the previous damn top we had on October 4th. Very interesting. That's obviously significant resistance. Okay, so that's it. Now, gold, doji, in an area of support. Trend lines are holding it so far. Kind of sort of passed the test yesterday by not collapsing and closing at its lows. And today is a doji and uncertainty. All I got to do is start to make some minor 1 or 2 or 3 day higher highs and higher closings, and I'll feel a lot more confident this thing's going to go right back up and maybe even continue into new high ground completely. Intermediate, trying to justify being bullish to very bullish. Short term, not quite sure. Let's see how this oversold condition and support areas performs. Silver, same thing. But we did get a little above yesterday's high. Not really doing a great job of sticking around at those levels at the moment. But support in oversold conditions yesterday is holding so far, and that's what I talked about yesterday. Platinum, it is rallying a little. We did get oversold. It was in a support area, and all of this stuff I talked about yesterday, and even before that as we came down into yesterday's low. So we got a little bit of a bounce here. Does that mean the market has turned completely? Not really. Where do you side? How long do you wait? How much rally do you need to decide that that is back, that is actually true in your opinion? Well, I can't come to that conclusion. All I can say is this is the setup for a turning point, and it certainly isn't going down at the moment. Okay. High-grade copper in support again yesterday and oversold just by a hair, but oversold. And now we're starting to work our way back up again, looking awfully good. Love it. All right. What else we got? A sell signal yesterday in soybeans, and I talked about this. Is this going to end up being a backwards reversal or ass backwards reversal? It is a bearish engulfing, normally bearish, but when you are in oversold conditions, and we weren't, but close, then I would say it's a very good chance that you could have a backwards reversal. Today, we are up 17. We did rally enough to get short on yesterday's ER sell signal, which is red. And the implication is it's going to crash through these lows of 978-ish and probably attack the lowest low and may even make a new low for the whole trend. That's the implication if this red bearish signal works. At the moment, it's not working. And I'm wondering, was that really a backwards reversal and the support area is holding? And are we going to see a move back up to here? So I'm caught between a little bit of a psychological rock and a hard space. But the system says there's no psychological nothing. You got a sell signal, go short, put your stops in like always, and let's see if this signal works. And historically, it has worked. Do I still have that open? I think maybe tomorrow I'll show it to you. I meant Monday, but it's my track record for ER1 scalps. It is it's almost a straight line, 3,000 plus trades in 2 years, and it has no significant downside equity loss, not even on a weekly basis, let alone monthly or longer term. No major drawdowns. Huge statement. I can prove it. So soybean oil held the trend line, did make a minor new high, is holding very nicely, and we are now out of our previous short, which was at the top of the market to the exact day on 11/11/24. I didn't expect it to go much below support or the trend line, and so far that's happened. It's bottoming out. It looks like we got stopped out of our short, so now flat. I don't have any new long buy signals, but my opinion is support's holding and it's trying to reverse. I think this could try to make a new high for the rally. Soybean meal in support and officially oversold. So this could have a bullish engulfing green buy signal like the one, very much like the one that happened on February 29th of this year, and it produced a heck of a good rally. Yeah, there's, a lot of downside, but it never made a lower low. That is and was and has been for now since February the lowest low for the whole damn trend. Here we are again. Same thing, same prices, same kind of activity. Watch out. Soybean meal might be bottoming out. I'd love to get higher than yesterday's high. That would turn into a green signal at that moment, and it would look, like I said, very much like February. Next, corn. Buy signal at this low. Unfortunately, not the lowest low, although I do believe that could have been an engulfing. What was the low there? It's 85. No, this is the exact same low 2 days in a row. To the tick. So one tick lower, and you would have had a bullish engulfing on August 27th, but missed by a tick. So turning around today, support, not oversold, but this could be a head and shoulder bottom. I'm trying to justify that opinion. The shoulder isn't very good. There it is in July. The bottom's the bottom, and it's always the bottom, and it's basically late August. And here we are in middle of October making a low with a buy signal on the exact low day. That's always nice. So are we going to continue up to the neckline and break it and have a minimum upside objective of approximately 483? We'll see, but that's the way it's heading, in my opinion, at this point. Now, wheat, oversold, doji, rallying a bit today. No sign of a real turn, but there are some similarities here to some of these other grains. Double bottom, longer term, major support areas, oversold conditions. This could be starting to turn up also. Don't have a signal. Didn't get below yesterday's low, too bad. And we have a brand new buy signal at the moment in cattle. How similar is this to the other grains some of the other grains I just mentioned? In support, oversold condition, did get below yesterday's low, and now we have been above yesterday's high, so that turned it green. I have a bullish engulfing ER buy signal today in cattle. Now, how high is up? Well, the resistance area at 188 is the first thing to watch for trouble on the rally. Then I have to think there's a little bit of a zone in here, 189 up to pretty much the highest highs, 191. Those are my warning levels for a rally to stop at. But I think the market could work its way up to and through that and make a new high for the whole shebang. Hogs, not oversold, in a support area, coming down, new low, and doing nothing that looks particularly bullish yet. So I have to accept probably a little bit lower, down to 77.12. And we'll see what happens if it doesn't hold those lows, that support area. Now, something new. The SQ is a symbol that the Ninja business manager, North American business manager, asked me to look at, and I all of a sudden saw some really interesting stuff here. Now, although short term, we got right back up to the high, almost to the exact tick that we had way back over here, February of 23, a year and a half ago, and stopped in overbought conditions. That was only 2 days ago, Wednesday. Dropped off on Thursday and dropping off again today. How much are we going to slip? I think maybe down to, well, it's already there. 81.27. Yeah, it's already hit that almost. But that seems to be such a small little dip here. I think maybe 75. There's a small gap there. This is a stock. This is not a commodity. SQ, I don't even know what they do. I don't really care. See, I don't, it doesn't matter to me. I just read the way markets move. So what about after the dip happens? There's a huge 2-year, maybe even more than that. What is this bottom? 2.5-year bottom formation that's taken the form of a possible wide, broad head and shoulder. Here's the shoulder. This is kind of part of it, but the lowest low is back here, October 22. Again, October 23, another low. There's your October lows twice. Like the stock indexes, not just this individual stock. It just was part of the index, of course. And this year, August was the low, not during October. So it's in a little bit tighter, but that's not too tight, close to the bottom. And we are toying with the neckline. So the minimum upside objective could be at least 133. And you got to take into consideration this was a lot higher than that only a few years ago. It was up to 288, was it? Yeah, about 288. So my upside objective of 133 looks good from 82, sure as heck. But that could be a very small amount of what really happens in the next 6 months, a year, 2 years. I am very bullish on this long term. Good. And we're SQ. So I've got it listed twice. Okay, E-mini, almost a new low here again. Wow, not stopping yet. NASDAQ, unbelievably great. I think my STS is going to drop again here every few minutes here because we're about to make new lows, it looks like. You guys have a great weekend and profitable trading to you. Bye-bye.